Black and White podcast. My name is Daniel Negro, and I'm live from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And today we're on episode number 29, the Post-Match of Juve-Roma. It's been a little bit, but it's been a difficult week for me personally with work. It's been pretty busy. Obviously, we had days kind of rest, if you want to call it. So it's been nice. I can't wait to get back to a regular schedule. Obviously, the game was nothing special. Celebrate and all of the stuff on Twitter. That was really nice to see. But getting to see a couple young guys. I wish they would have played all of them, to be honest. But we'll get into that in a bit. I said episode 29. We got a big game coming up on Friday. There's going to be a podcast tonight, if not tomorrow morning before the game, and then we're going to get the post game coming to you on Sunday with Albert. Finally, I got the boring stuff. Guys, please smash subscribe if you can. Drop a like if you listen to the podcast on YouTube, and click the bell for notifications. Please drop. There's actually someone who was a little bit critical of like how I speak and a word that I was using. No, like I said, it helps me out. And what you want to hear, what topics you want to hear. It's always nice to hear from the feedback from you guys. And then again, check out the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, and now Google Podcasts. And again, on those you'll keep up to date, and the podcast will just post to your thread. Another early morning one, obviously we scheduled it, and it's going to work. So finally able to bring him on the show, Mohammed, obviously from Kuwait, man. Thank you for coming on, and thanks for putting up with all my time changes.
No, man, I understand.
And actually, I want to say as well, I know before the show you told me you're from Lebanon. I just wanted to quite a crazy event. I'm not going to necessarily get into the politics of it because I don't think that's my place. But I hope all the Juventinita from Lebanon, because I know there are a lot, are okay. It was crazy to see the videos, crazy to see the some of the injuries and stuff like that. So it's unfortunate, and I hope everyone's okay. This good stuff, and now you in the news, it's not great, but like I said, Mohammed. Yeah, let's get into the Juve part of it. I know you've been on Al's podcast twice. How'd you become a Juve fan?
It actually started 10 years ago. But I used to watch football. Okay, in 2000, I started watching football when I was about 5 years old. 2006, it all started with the World Cup, Italy World Cup. So that's how I got into Italian football, because Italy won the World Cup at that year. And my brother was a Milan fan. My brother became a Milan fan because of my uncle. Anyway, I wasn't committed to watching football. I would just watch it if my brother's watching it. I was I would support a team every day. One day I would support Roma. One day I would support Napoli. Anything. Then I want.
Wait a minute. Hold on. This is all coming back to me. You were the guy that was on Al's podcast that threw you in the garbage. Is this correct?
That was me. Yeah.
Was that the same?
Come on, man. I was 7 years
So there
old.
you go.
Give me a break. Give me a break. I was 7. Anyway.
That's awesome.
Then
awesome, man.
I wanted to commit in watching football, and I didn't want to support AC Milan because my brother didn't want me supporting it, and I have another brother who didn't want me to support Real Madrid. So my favorite player was Pirlo of all time. even before I started watching football, and Pirlo was playing for Juventus at that time. So I look into
Right.
the club, I find Pirlo, I found Chiellini, I find Buffon, all the players I know, some of them from the World Cup, like Pirlo and Buffon. So I decided to support Juventus, and until that day, I still support them. Didn't change clubs.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's hilarious. It's actually cool because you get that sibling rivalry. And I've heard it with between like obviously father, daughter, even brother, sister. So it's interesting to hear that because yeah, no, I mean I guess Pirlo was a blessing in disguise. Obviously we got you as a fan. And
Thank you.
yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
My my brother, my
Funny
brother,
story. Obviously, like I said, check.
my brother
Go ahead.
was very annoying. Like as a Milan fan, he's very annoying. Like when we lost against them 4-2. Hold on, let me show you. Yeah, I don't know if you can see them, but just look. He keeps sending me pictures of the match. Hold on. Look at these. I can't download it anymore for some reason. But all of these are pictures he sent me, and up until this day he keeps doing it every day.
Oh, there you are. I mean, they got to celebrate something, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah, they don't
mean,
have
they
anything.
haven't celebrated maybe Coppa Italia. That's about it. So, I mean, maybe Super Coppa. I mean, whatever. What they can celebrate whatever they want, but the most important trophy there in Italy. So, I mean, doesn't matter what they say. We got it. We got the job done. Ninth consecutive Scudetto secured. And obviously the celebration was pretty nice how they did it up there in the stands. And it was too bad there was no fans though. Kind of unfortunate. I mean, the situation is what it is. Everybody knows. But yeah, it was too bad that the fans couldn't be there. What does the Scudetto mean? I've been asking quite a few people now, like either on Twitter or on the podcast specifically, but what does the podcast mean, or what does the Scudetto mean to you? Obviously it's been a tough season, but
You know,
what does it mean to you? Obviously winning 9 in a row.
to be honest, look, I'm gonna get criticism for this, okay? Like at first, I was happy, and we keep winning it every year. But I'm still happy. I'm not saying I'm not happy, but I want something
Yeah,
more now. I want
right.
the Champions League because a club like Juventus, one of the best clubs in Europe, like Scudetto, we can't just keep celebrating
Yeah,
something we keep winning every year. Even the worst Juve side this season won the Scudetto this year. We want something more. We want something like the Champions League or the treble. So
yeah,
I'm
I agree.
satisfied, but I'm not celebrating and jumping on my bed.
Yeah, I think it's all something more. I've said it multiple times. More of the without winning a Champions League, it really starts diminishing the value because you're not necessarily. Then it looks more bad on. It looks worse on the league than it does good on us for winning 9 in a row. But for me, it's something where I will always celebrate because you never know. Next year we might not win it, and then hey, then we got nothing to celebrate. So it's always nice to enjoy it. But I agree 100%.
Yeah,
There's something more and that's the Champions League, and that's something that needs to take precedent. I think the club needs to really get behind it and stop making excuses
honestly,
for why it's not happening enough.
to be honest, like regards winning the league this season, we barely made it. So I hope this is a wake up call for the
Yeah,
management and the whole team.
exactly. I agree 100%. And they can't get away. Again, something I've always said. We've been taking for granted winning these leagues
Exactly.
because we think we're doing so well, even though we're walking through the league. And at the end of the day, it's a false flag, false hope. Because then when we go into real competition like Champions League, where teams are playing way better, it's a different format, yes, but that's the bar, and we haven't got past the we haven't we haven't passed the exam. So that's something that, again, like I said, we need to work on. And I mean, hopefully Friday, depending on if Dybala plays, that's going to be a big um, ask if he doesn't play, especially being down 1-0. But let's get into him being the MVP of the season. Kind of a perfect segue there. Did you think it was deserved? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's deserved, honestly. Like him and a couple of other old players.
Like, are you in the Ronaldo camp?
No. You're insulting me right now. He deserved it. He really deserved it, honestly, because despite being treated like garbage last summer, he actually stepped up. Also, okay, it's true. Ronaldo, he was actually a big part
Yeah.
of the team winning the Scudetto, but Dybala, I don't know how to say this in English. He basically made the plays. Like he controlled the game.
Yeah,
He
he puts
controlled
the
most
team
of the
on his
game.
back pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so really he deserves it. Yeah, I agree. Maybe guys like Gomez, Elisic, they deserve it
Yeah,
too. But like they didn't win the league. He helped us win
yeah,
the league. Maybe
yeah.
if
That's
the
true.
rest won the league, okay. But you know,
No, I agree 100%, and I kind of had an appreciation for Dybala, kind of a long thread of my thoughts on him, and I appreciate what he's done. Like I said, it would have been easy for him to like go to any club. He didn't really owe us anything, and yeah, like you said, the whole situation with the transfer rumors and the possible move last summer, it was difficult, and to come back now and
you
succeed, all
know,
that noise is really
I want
nice
to
to
ask your
see.
opinion. I want to ask your opinion on this. Do you think that Paratici did this on purpose? Like he didn't want to intentionally sell him. He just wanted to do that, maybe to make Inter buy Lukaku or something.
Maybe like kind of a motivation. I don't
Yeah,
know. Uh, um, from what, like I said, we will never know what the exact like, how far into this transfer they were. From what I heard and from the people that I talked to, and I believe that are reliable sources, as well as have gotten a lot of the stuff right in the past. I think barring the imaging rights or the image rights to Dybala, he was gone. That was the only sticking point, was the image rights. Now, I
mm,
don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's just a rumor. I don't know if that's hearsay because someone said it and that's what's been talked about. But from what I know, it was pretty much a done deal, barring the image rights. And that was the one thing that they couldn't solve because I believe they wanted to own his image rights and Dybala wanted to keep his image rights, kind of thing. So I'm not 100% sure if there was a tactic to maybe motivate him. I mean, I don't think there was much that needed to be done. I think the only thing that needed to be done was, give him the confidence to play where he wants to play and not play him as a central defensive midfielder,
yeah.
like Allegri did. And I think this mentality question was ridiculous in the first place. Um, I don't know why it was brought up. I don't know. I think anyone and their mother could have, saw that the way he was being played just what the place he needed to be on the pitch to be successful, especially from what we've seen in the past, because he's had successful seasons before last year. So, I mean, it was pretty simple to me. Allegri, this is all lies on him. This is going to forever be his legacy. That's one thing that I think Sarri has to give credit for, whether you like the guy or not. And yeah, I know Allegri just didn't get the job done. He couldn't get the two best players on our team to play together. That's one thing that I find, whether, like I said, you agree with his tactics or not, Sarri's been able to do is play Ronaldo and Dybala. And whether it's been 100% perfect, maybe not, but it's worked. It's gotten the job done so far. So that's all I got to say about that, man.
About Dybala winning the MVP award, he's getting a lot of backlash.
Oh,
Everyone.
oh, there's a lot of people online that only go to whoscored.com after every game and see how many goals Ronaldo scored and say, oh, he scored 2 goals, so he
Yeah.
must have had, oh, look, he's the man of the match, because knows are, they're as accurate freaking is on Twitter, 41,000 followers, thinking Rudy Garcia. That's how that should be our coach
I remember seeing that.
next year.
Who was it again?
That's how accurate WhoScored.com. I think it's Hashim. 41,000. The guy's verified. I don't know who he paid. I don't know who he paid on Twitter to get that blue check mark. But hey, I guess if you got the money, dude.
This guy's unbelievable. I muted him. I muted his account. I couldn't. I had to mute him.
You know what? It's getting to the point where there's a lot of these like OG guys, and I don't want to throw shade. And actually, there's a couple guys that just started up now that got pretty big followings, but it's almost getting to that point where I got to start muting people because it's really just fucking annoying. And like, honestly, you get to the point where you see some of these takes and you're like, dude, like, where are you coming from? Like, either what drugs are you on right now, or this is like out of left field. Like Rudy Garcia, like really? Like out of all the options, like Pochettino's out there technically. I mean, depending on what you've been hearing with Conte, that's there technically.
No,
yeah, so well, you denied it, but you never know, right? Obviously, they won. Merida won today in Europa League, but I mean, there's so many other options you can go, and you pick Rudy Garcia. Like, really, dude. Anyways, man, we'll get past that, or else we're gonna go on for hours on that on just that guy's takes. Him and a couple others just amaze me. What you hear, but yeah. So, what do you think about that whole situation with Conte? I know I put a poll up, and it was actually pretty resounding, the results, and you know, not to toot my horn, but that's how you react to a poll coming out where it's against kind of what you think. Knock, knock, or hint, hint, nudge, nudge to someone that also got into. I got into it with a few years ago about a Conte rumor, but you know, at the end of the day, it's all opinions. So I mean, I don't care. I mean, if people like, I was surprised how many people actually voted for Sarri, to be honest, but not surprised. Just because of all the vitriol that's gone back and forth with Conte. But I said if you had the choice to pick, you know, keep Sarri for next year or bring in Conte, let's say a hypothetical that Allegri was signed by Merda, who would you take, boss?
Honestly, I think I'd stick with Sarri because I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't like Conte, you know? Like,
yeah,
I don't like Conte, but he's a really amazing manager. So it puts me in a shit situation. But Sarri, you know, he's building something right now. I think. Do you see how many complaints Conte gets with Inter? I swear to God, if he goes and manages this Juve right now, man will probably jump off of a roof. You know.
See, the only thing that I like about Conte is, one, he's got the DNA. Two, he's more of a player. He can motivate. And that's what I think we've been lacking. That's kind of why I thought he should have come in after Allegri again, because we needed someone just to motivate the team. And
there's no third choice in the poll, right? There's no third choice.
No. I just wanted to specifically see what people. No, because if you look at it, Sarri was getting a lot of hate, right? Like if you look at this season and like even at the end of he was getting a lot of, which justified or not, whatever your opinion is your opinion. I think he's definitely done a lot wrong, but he's done some good things, but definitely enough to be criticized, for sure. But you know, I just wanted to feel it. I wanted to see, you know, where the loyalty is. So again, Sarri was the resounding choice, which, like I said, kind of surprised me, but no, it's good. I mean, I don't see, even if he loses on Friday, I don't see Sarri going, just because we signed him on a 3-year contract, and Juve's never backed out.
I think that I don't think we need a manager who like Sarri or Conte. I don't think we need Pochettino either. We need a manager who has won the Champions League before, you know, because Juventus is a hopeless situation. You need a manager who has already won the Champions League, who has experience in how to win. Because it's true that you start, like, there are managers who started from winning the first Champions League. You get what I mean? Like, there are managers who never won the Champions League but won the Champions League with the team. But Juventus is a unique case, you know. Like when they get to the final, they don't know what to do. You need somebody who knows and has experience in situations like these.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
honestly,
exactly. So are you thinking Zidane or Guardiola? Are those your two kind of options? Is that who you thought we've
prob
needed, or just in
yeah,
general?
Guardiola. Who doesn't want Guardiola? Honestly, a lot of people want Guardiola. You don't want Guardiola? You don't want Pep? Why not?
He's overrated in my opinion, boss. I honestly I can't stand the guy. The amount of praise he gets for like spending 1 billion or just
Yeah, that's
over a
true.
billion. I
That's
mean,
his
Juve,
problem.
Juve doesn't have the kind of resources. Excuse me.
You
That
okay?
ever that ever. Oh yeah, I'm good.
No virus.
Just coffee went down the wrong hole, but yeah, no. I don't think he's got it what it takes. I mean, Champions League's only at Barcelona to pretty much a squad that is like all-time 11. Um, Bayern, again, they won league titles, but nothing spectacular out of there. Then you look at Man City, perennial chokers. Like honestly, I've been saying it. If we get through Lyon, I'm not even worried about playing Man City if that's the team we play. I'm almost more worried about playing Madrid in the next round than playing Man City because Madrid has our number, and I think psychologically that plays into it. But no, I think Man City is just choke central, man. And I think when you have a guy like Guardiola who plays this style, and you can almost look into it like Sadi, can they're not really agile to move and direct. They're very rigid in what they do. And that's why when Barcelona gets caught out in years where they don't change anything, that's why we've been able to beat them at certain times, like badly. You look, they're very rigid in playing that same style. So I think Man City is the same thing. I think they're more talented than the last time we beat them, but I I think no, I don't see us having a problem even with the midfield we have. I just think and they don't have the confidence, right? They don't have the confidence in Champions League.
Yeah, that's a problem. They always, especially on quarterfinals, they always choke when they reach that stage.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right?
So the other option is Zidane. What about Zidane?
So
Do you want
speaking
him? Sorry, you go. You
again
go
with
first.
Zidane, I think I think with Zidane, I think it's with him as he hasn't really shown much. Um, like I said, I felt, and he's kind of like the motivator that can get players to be at their full potential, if you want to call it that. But other than that, I don't know. I don't think he's a great like tactical guy. I think he's more of like a man manager, which we could use. I think that's something we need, but I don't know. I don't see it. I look through that success, and I just look at the body. I just look at the. I just use the eye test, and those teams he had were stacked. They were on another level. I mean, that's one thing about Real Madrid that everyone and that's where I see, maybe his like what do I want to say his portion of the success comes down a little bit when you look at the players and see how good they really were.
You have a point. You have a
You look at Modric. Go ahead, boss.
you have a point because also
You're good to go.
it's like the team carried Zidane. Like the Real Madrid team was probably the best team they had in years. So mainly it was all Cristiano Ronaldo too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. You have Cristiano Ronaldo, but then you have a team that is
Exactly.
built to perfectly complement him, but as well having world class midfielders at the time. Like I said, Modric, that team he took Croatia pretty much to the Croatian team had talent on it, but was one of the guys in the midfield there. So they went to the World Cup final. Then you look at guys like Casemiro, who was playing unbelievable at that time. You look at Cruz, who was one of the top players in the world. Obviously, they won the World Cup. So really, it's not really surprising to me that they went on that run. Like I said, they made smart moves, spent relatively small amounts of money, and they did it the right way. That's why it pissed me off with the whole Ronaldo thing, is because we were on our way of doing the same thing. And if you take that 110 million or whatever it was, 115 or 100 or 99, whatever the transfer fee is, and you actually help your midfield and get some better fullbacks and this and that, I don't see why Juve can't be in that same spot. But the board made their decision. They wanted to make a lot of money, and they have, and it is what it is. But I think you look at that, and obviously looking towards the game ahead, De Ligt and Bonucci are probably going to be starting against Lyon. Demiral, I think, is going to be ready if needed on the bench, as well as Chiellini. But I think Chiellini's more of a player looking forward past this game. If not maybe as a starter, but someone that could come off the bench if need be, or if there's a suspension or someone picks up an injury, I wouldn't see him available for this game per se, just because we have Demiral in the hole, and then you have the two guys starting. But yeah, what do you think about that? What do you think about this coming game? Give us your thoughts. We'll get into it right away.
I want to start with the formation, like according to reports. Cuadrado, Cristiano, and Costa, I think. Starting.
No, not Costa. Costa's out. You mean
Higuain. Yeah. Costa, Ronaldo, Higuain, and Cuadrado. I don't know. Okay, Dybala's sort of injured. That's understandable. Yeah. But let Bernardeschi play. I swear to God, man, I'd do anything just to not see Danilo touch the fucking ball again. I don't want him to play. I don't want him.
Okay.
I understand he's a Juventus player, and I have to respect him. But man, this guy, I have no words. I just let Cuadrado play at right back and Bernardeschi at right wing. Bernardeschi is okay. He's not in good form, but I don't want Danilo to play.
I got you. Those are pretty much the two main positions that have been kind of in question. Obviously, it's pretty obvious if Dybala's ready to go. I think even if Dybala's Dybala, because he just makes the world a difference. So I think elimination game, we're down 1-0, and I don't want to take. I mean, sure, some people have been talking about if he gets hurt and then you miss him for the next one. I don't think you look that far ahead yet, because again, we're behind. If we're conservative, but we're losing 1-0, and if they score, we need like 3 goals. So you play it all out. But yeah, that's the main talk on Twitter and obviously in the media of what the right wing, right back situation is going to be. Now, for me, I'm not. I agree with you 100%. I think that's what we need at the end of the season is someone who's an actual right back. If you want to keep Danilo as like a sub or whatever, that's fine. But we definitely need someone who's a proper right back. But to me, I would put Cuadrado right wing. I think we need that power, that spark, that power, and if we can get a quick goal at the beginning with, let's say, Dybala and Cuadrado on the pitch, and then maybe you get a second one before halftime or just after halftime to take the lead. Then what you can even do is you can slide Cuadrado back if you're not comfortable with Danilo. Take Danilo off and throw Bernardeschi up top, right? So I like my options better that way than starting Bernardeschi and Quadrado, because then you have both those guys on the field. If something goes wrong within, or where, like you said, Bernardeschi's not really in form. He was making good runs, but I kind of found he was fading as of late. But obviously, the last two games don't mean anything, to be honest. But I think he was kind of fading a little bit, so that's why I think we have more versatility when you play again the option that I think we should go with. But again, who knows, right? I mean, Sadi's gonna put who he's got in his magical notebook, and we'll find out before the game tomorrow on what's it gonna be. So, but it's trending towards Dybala coming back. Again, like we said with the coach, it doesn't look like there's gonna be any new coach. I think it's difficult to look at the consequences, even with the elimination. I think you look at last season, we won the Scudetto, and I believe we won the Supercoppa. So really, there's not kind of plateaued. We're not worse than what we were last year. We're not better than what we were last year. So again, you can't really. I wouldn't call it a failure if we go out. I would just say we kind of just matched what we did last season. But obviously, you look at the Dibaldo, as some people are calling it, partnership. You look at Bentancur has improved very, very mightily. In the midfield, you look at De Ligt. Rabiot is coming into his form. I think one of our best midfielders since the restart, which I thought we should have got rid of the guy from what I was seeing in the first part of the season, but has really proved me wrong. But now we're looking into this defensive fragility, these blackouts as they're calling them. Us going up 2-0 or 3-0 or 3-1, whatever it may be, and then lapsing. I do think though it is a different style, and we're gonna have to expect this. It's more attacking style. If you're gonna get guys, and a lot of people are criticizing, the fullbacks. Well, if these guys are gonna be pushing up, you're gonna have to prepare to leak goals a little bit. So that's just the way it is.
I don't know. Honestly, with Sarri's Juve, it's easy to concede goals, as we've seen from the past few matches. Been conceding a lot of goals lately, but I don't know. I'm scared. To be honest. I have a good feeling, but I'm just worried.
Yeah. I think we got to be. Like I said, if I see Dybala on the pitch, I'm positive. If he's not efforts from some players like Ronaldo, he's gonna have to come out because he's not gonna have Dybala on the pitch, so it's gonna be harder for him. But I definitely think we have the talent. We're the more informed team, even though it didn't look like. I think the game against PSG is misleading. You have two teams that are not necessarily match fit, looking similar or playing a close game. That's kind of tough to tell about.
Same goes for Lyon. They haven't played a competitive game in a while, so that's an advantage.
Right. So they played that Coupe de la Ligue, I think, or the Coupe de France, whichever one it was. I mean, you got to think about it, right? Like those two teams are both not match fit. So when you see a close game, you could take one of two things. You could say, well, okay, maybe they're further along the line than we thought they were. But you could also say, well, maybe it's just two teams that aren't really fit, kind of evening out. So really, can you really take that into account and saying that they're better than what they are? But I mean, we'll see what happens. What are your thoughts? You think gonna win?
Yeah, I think we're gonna win.
Yeah, I think so too, man.
Yeah, you can't help being terrified,
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, we're a big enough club. You got to expect that, right? Obviously, I don't know if you saw the comment. Sami Khedira posted a long Instagram post. So
I didn't read, but whatever.
Just leave, dude. Just leave.
Same thing. Yeah.
Just leave. But let's get into obviously team of the seasons. Obviously, WhoScored.com had Ronaldo at like a 7.82.
That's what
I don't know how.
That's like the main source, We have Roma addressed, right? They have WhoScored.com.
Like, I have no idea how he beat pretty much everybody. Like, they clearly base goals scored as their like top stat, because literally I've seen games where he'd gone from like a 5 or like high 5s to like a 7, high 7s or an 8, just
Uh-huh.
because he scored a PK. Because they have, it's funny actually, they have a pretty cool thing. It tracks the rating of the player throughout the whole game, depending on what happens in the game, and like it spikes after. It doesn't matter if it's like a goal from play or from a penalty or from whatever. It just spikes to usually the top, to the man of the match. So obviously Cuadrado was on there as a right back. I think you got to give him credit for, you know, doing the job he's done. Obviously not being a right back and, you know, performing to a decent
Well,
enough level.
actually,
Yes,
Cuadrado used to be a right back at the beginning of his career.
yes, he has. But I don't. I think he's just more effective defensively. I think he's a liability.
Yeah.
He hasn't been horrible. I mean, yeah, that's debatable from what you watch. But I think, you know, he's prone to make some mistakes. But I mean, I'm not going to fault him too much on that. Then Optapalo also came up with their rankings. They had there's with Ronaldo and Cuadrado as right back, with Chesney in goal, um, which I think is pretty solid lineup they had there. Um, some other players, Teo Hernandez at the left back, Acerbi and De Vrij as your center backs. Also,
Why?
they had,
Like, okay, the fry is understandable, but come on, Delect deserves it more than a Cherby.
yeah, I think it's tough.
And
I think like it's always tough looking at those situations. Obviously we're a little bit biased, right? Because we see him all the time. I think he has had a really great season, but I think it's tough. You got to look at where Lazio was the year before, and I think he's been pretty solid as well. I don't know. It's splitting hairs. I mean, as a Juve fan, yeah, I think you got to put Delict in there, but I mean, it's tough. I'll give it to a Cherby. I mean, I think in the future you're going to see Delict more and more in these every year. So I'm not. I mean, it's his first season, so whatever. It's fine. I mean, they can only put slot 2 center backs there, anyways, for the most part. I mean, unless they choose a 3, which I doubt they would do. But too bad of a line. Obviously, Immobile up top, Gomez, you got to give it to him. Even Ilicic, you could have thrown in there potentially. Luis Alberto, who's been again phenomenal for Lazio, as well as Fabio Ruiz for Napoli. So, you know, not too bad. Obviously, there was a graphic. I don't know if you saw about the competitiveness of Serie A. Really, you look at all the other leagues and they're way behind. The second place team is either 10 points or more behind the first place squad. So this year's definitely been interesting. Not necessarily scary, even though there's there's the 1 point difference because we had 2 losses in the last 2 games, which was 7 losses total in the season. Quite interesting to see as a Juve fan because it's been a while since we've had more than 3, 4 losses, 3, 4, 5 losses in a season, and hitting 7 towards the end. I know the last 2, like I said, didn't mean anything, but and obviously the lineups were different, but yeah, definitely interesting when you hear that, and then hearing that Inter only had 4. So, but I don't think it was that close, anyways. I think we made it closer than we needed it to be. Obviously, a bravo to Tech, best save percentage in the or highest save percentage in the Serie A, 74%. And I think he's done a really good job again this year. Made a couple, he's made a couple of questionable mistakes this year, but who hasn't? And I think he's been a solid at the back and something that we haven't had to question for a while. Then you look at Ronaldo's stat, obviously on Ronaldo, 31 goals in the campaign, 124 points. And if you tell a Ronaldo fan that, he thinks that, without him, we would have been in 7th place or whatever the hell the stat was.
not gonna waste my breath, man. Keep going.
Yeah, it's
Don't
not
waste my breath.
it's not like we can have another team or set the team up differently to suit our playing style. But anyways, let's get into the MVPs, the best player awards. Obviously of the year, Tech won the best goalkeeper. I think well deserved. Best defender was from De Vrij. Best midfielder. I think they threw him in here. I think he's more of an attacking player. I know they have a best striker, but best midfielder Papu Gomez. I think well deserved as well. Then you have Ciro Immobile as the best. For us, something that's interesting. Best youngster Kulusevski, who should be coming to Juve next year. Check the interview I posted of him. I have a long thread, obviously, of the. I have a design that is for Kulusevski, and
Can you send it to me after the match?
yeah, man. No, check it out. It's on my. It's just before the Dybala thread. So just check that out, guys. I think it's got both. I'm pretty sure it's got both sizes if you need it. And I pretty much put all the quotes in the thread. And
yours or
this one. No, this one, Juventinita DAL.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to keep posting more regularly on that account. I want to try and bring that one up to maybe 5, 6. Maybe 1,000 followers. We'll see what we can do, but I definitely want to be posting more on that one, guys. And again, like I said, Dybala MVP, well deserved. More of a fact than anything, something that we've learned. The Serie A season for next year is going to be starting on September 19th. So again, just over a month before the next season is going to stop. It's going to come fast. It's going to come wild for this Champions League, and obviously that'll end on May 23rd. And then hopefully we can get back into a regular routine. At least for me, it's going to help me quite a bit, to be honest. But yeah, that's really all I have for the news. I don't know. We'll kind of quickly get into this Roma match. Obviously, the lineup, I wish they almost put in more rookies or U23 players, if you want to call them that. Peters, I think, could have started in the midfield. Vrioni and Olivieri as strikers. I mean, throw them in. Why not? And even Mr. Damela Gasolina Wesley there as a right back for Danilo. I don't think that would have hurt us. I mean, we got off to a great start with the corner from Berna and a beautiful flick from Rabiot to kind of cause problems, and Higuain got on the end of it in the 5th minute. But it was kind of, Juve had control, Roma had control in the first half, kind of feel. No real clinical touch, barring that goal from Higuain.
Chesney and Bonucci were the only first-team players that played,
yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Bonucci as well started. I don't know. I think he was trying to get some minutes. I hate seeing Matuidi start, to be honest. I don't think he's a starter anymore. Someone to watch with Roma though, Kaya Fiori on the left back or left mid, whatever kind of role he was playing. Obviously, they were in a 3-4-3, 3-4-2-1, if you want to call it that. With Zappacosta on the right and Calafiori on the left, but he was doing wonders for Roma, youth product, their youth product, and wow, he was sharp. I think Frabotta did a very good job as well, but Calafiori is a guy like Juve. Get on that if you can bring him over, bring him in because he's a young Italian player. And he was on. He got the penalty against Danilo in the... Which minute was that? I believe it was the second goal, the 42nd minute. And yeah, Danilo was just caught sleeping, and he made the perfect cut and ran into him, and that was a foul, right? So great play. He had a couple chances. I think he actually had an amazing volley at the beginning too that didn't count because of, I believe, Tech was fouled. Zanamaki actually switched to the left-hand side for whatever reason. I guess Bernardeschi wanted to be on the right, or maybe the lineup was wrong at the beginning of the game. but definitely noticed that. But we hemmed them in for the good part of the 15 minutes. And then it kind of turned around after that. Rugani, big mistake in the 23rd. They have a corner and just doesn't mark Kalinic properly. And he gets the header and they score. And there's your 1-1 game back up, game level again. But there were some good chances throughout this whole game. Rabiot had a couple chances. A little bit too far. The touch wasn't great. The pass accuracy, I know it was 90%. Checking the stats, but we're needing a little bit more in terms of that. Like I said, I think that Calafiori is a promising player. I said I didn't know who it was until they talked about it at the beginning of the game, but
Stroma.
Something I noticed as well. Yeah, exactly.
So obviously they're gonna sell him.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind picking him up, like I said, at a decent price. Hey, we need guys at left back, left mid, stuff like that. That would be awesome. I don't know how much playing time he's going to get, but, definitely a solid player. Zanamakia was doing good on the wing. He was winning a lot of fouls, actually, for us. So I think he performed pretty well. Again, Frabotta was making some good runs from the left back position as well. And I enjoyed that. Muratore was not necessarily a poor game, but didn't really notice him too much personally. I mean, it was kind of a snooze of a game, so I don't know how much I would like. I'll tell. Once I got to the 80th minute, I was kind of like, okay, whatever. And we're down 3-1. I was like,
I still don't get why there were Juve fans who were pissed over the game.
Yeah, I mean, I was like I said, I think they should have just played more youth, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Just experience.
They're just pretty much getting guys like I wanted to see Pinsolio start from the beginning. I don't necessarily think he did. He did.
No, he did.
I don't think Tech needed the minutes, to be honest. So I don't know why he started, but I mean, not saying that it matters, but I would have preferred just Pinsolio get the start, give him his due, and play him out. Really, there's no need for Tech to go into that game. Bernardeschi's free kicks are pretty good, but like he's got good curves on them, so I think he just needs to be the guy who takes those long range ones, to be honest, to curl the ball into the box.
If I speak against Ronaldo, his free kicks, he'll probably score one the next game. Swear to God, last time I spoke against his free kick, he scored one. I don't remember who it was against, but
it was
he
scored the first one.
Yeah, he scored a free kick. I don't remember when. But as soon as I spoke about his free kicks, he scored. So I'll just keep my mouth shut.
Talk some shit. We're gonna need that. We're gonna need that free kick goal.
Tomorrow, inshallah. Tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Let's hear it on Twitter. But anyways, yeah, like I said, 42nd minute, Danilo kind of overruns and gets caught. Cagliafiori makes a smart move, cuts the ball back in the middle of the box, and kind of runs into smart technical foul, and picks up the penalty. No questions asked. I don't think there was any controversy behind that. Tech was pretty close to saving it. That's what I've noticed with Tech. He doesn't save too many penalties, which we'll get into Tech a little bit later, but. Yeah, I think I hope that changes, and I know it's tough to save penalties. It's not I said, it's not easy. But
last season he was actually, last season I think he only conceded a couple, like one or two penalties, and he saved all of them. But I don't know what happened to him this season.
Well, honestly, this year you got to remember we also had a lot more penalties against us compared to last year. Like I think we had maybe this was like the 14th penalty or something like that against us.
Yeah.
I know we're at 12, but that was like maybe 4 or 5 games ago, I think, when that stat came up. So I'm not sure if that's the same. Then we get to halftime. Really, we're down 2-1. I didn't expect anyone really to come on anyways, so I kind of knew we were going to be in this hole. And if the only thing I didn't like about losing this game is it breaks our record of 39 in a row at home. But that was it. That was the only thing that really bothered me. I wasn't expecting much. And yeah, again, it was kind of like back and forth. Juve taking some chances, but not really being clinical. Possession was pretty much equal. Shots were pretty much equal. Our shots were down though. We're usually around 15 to 20. We only had about 11 with 3 on goal. So again, but different players. Obviously, Demiral comes on to get some minutes, which was nice to see. Rabiot goes off for Ramsey. Again, those guys didn't get minutes. Frabotta again in the 50th, nice running cross. Nice to see that from him. But then in the 52nd minute, as soon as we make those subs, and everybody's got a good idea when they keep talking about, Sarri making these defined changes at certain times every game. So we put those 2 guys on, and I can't remember who it was in the back, but we give a poor ball that basically goes to the Roma right mid Zappacosta, and then essentially gives it up to Zaniolo and makes that same run almost exactly. It was crazy. I checked on Roma Twitter, and they posted it, kind of before and after of when he got hurt, obviously, which is funny. Playing against us, he got hurt with the Achilles or the ACL, excuse me, and then the run he made this game, and obviously he gave it to Perotti to score, and then he passes off to Perotti. I believe there was a little bit of a deflection. They score, go up 3-1, and at that point I was like, oh, it's over. Defensively, it was poor, but I mean, what do you expect? You got Rugani with Demiral, and then a bunch of younger guys, so it is what it is. I don't expect that when our actual starting lineup is. And then, again, some more chances. Roma had some good possession in the game. Olivieri comes on for Bernardeschi. Pinsoglio comes on for Wojciech Szczesny. Again, pushing, but nothing really critical in the last. And then I kind of checked out. Zappacosta kind of had a chance that, warned Pinsoglio his first chance of the game in the 77th. Higuain had a really nice chance in the 78th, but just put it over the bar. And then Vrioni took him off. And, again, I really didn't pay attention after that. It was kind of just like, okay, let's get this game over with. Obviously, Campione d'Italia, 1920 season. That wraps it up. It was, again, like I said, it was nice to see the celebrations after that. And I was actually quite happy with the zone. They actually showed them lift the cup. So I got to give them some credit here in North America where they usually don't show that kind of stuff. So good for them. Good for all of us. Now we go into Champions League, different mindset. And let's see what happens. Who are your best 3 and your worst 3 players in this game? For me, I'll go, I think Matuidi was meh. Danilo was made the stupid mistake on the penalty. And then Rugani with the mistake on the first goal. So those are going to be my first 3 down, if you want to call them that. 3 up, I think the 3 young guys, I'll give them the credit. And I think Higuain for scoring the goal within 5 minutes. Those are my top 3 for sure.
You want me to wait? Worst 3 guys and best 3 guys in both teams, or just Juventus?
No, just Juve. We'll keep it simple, and it doesn't even need to be 3. Sometimes some games we're not good enough.
Worst players: Danilo, Matuidi. Anybody who didn't even watch the match is gonna say the same as me. Yeah. Matuidi and Danilo, and I think you're right. Best 3 players were the youngsters, but actually Bernardeschi, he was okay. He was more than average. He was good that game. I hope just plays that way every day.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was kind of a meh game. It was tough to when I was writing these down and I was trying to think about who to put, and it was kind of tough to pick out. I don't know what did you think of the overall game, just in general. I know you said that a lot of people were complaining about it, but I mean, to me, like I said, the only thing that bothered me was 1, not enough. They didn't play all the youngsters, and 2, we lost that kind of home field advantage or that home field record. But besides that, I wasn't bothered at all.
Yeah, I was feeling the same as you. Like how you felt in the last 10 minutes of just wanting the game to end. That was how I
Yeah.
felt after Roma scored the second goal. Honestly, I didn't care much anymore. And honestly, like I don't really care whether they win or lose. I was just watching. And yeah, he
Yeah.
should have played more. He should have started Pinsolio, like you said, because there was no
Yeah.
point for Chesney to get. There was even no point for Bonucci to play. To be
Yeah.
honest, since he's
I
playing in the
agree.
Champions League already, you should let like somebody like Demiral play. Demiral,
Yeah.
he was back from injury, at least
Yeah.
But
Now
other than that,
I don't know if they maybe knew more than we did, and maybe they only thought he only had so many legs in him in Demiral. But for me, I think yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think he definitely should have started, but who knows? Maybe he thought he was only conditioned for that last little bit, 30, 40 minutes or so. But yeah, I agree 100%. Let's look at the season now. Just quickly, we'll go through here. It's only a couple segments left. Actually, sorry, we'll get into the post-match comments. It was kind of difficult to find. Obviously Sari talks about Lyon, surprised by the fact that physically they seem to be in rather good shape. I don't know. I think that's misleading. We'll find out obviously Friday, but I think we shouldn't definitely underestimate Lyon, but I think to say that that was a good showing against PSG it's misleading in my opinion. Paratici before the game talked about Agnelli and the Scudetti. He said Agnelli's always close to the club. We must thank him for his confidence and support. I thank him for his great passion in this journey. This is not a game that will change the company's ideas about the season. Winning 9 Scudetti in a row was something that was unexpected 10 years ago. It's exceptional. We have to start enjoying the fruits of a lot of work this season. I thank the Lega for finishing the season. And then he talked about Zaniolo, and a lot of people have been bringing this up. Maybe Zaniolo is a little bit. I think we got to sign him personally.
yeah,
I think it would be awesome to have him,
we've been
even
on
a
him for a year.
Pogba. Even Pogba, we add him in as well. I think that's definitely a possibility. But he's a good footballer, he says. But we think about the game to play, celebrate the Scudetto. Then we will see for the Mercato. There'll be time for that. I think Al made a great point in saying Kulusevski is probably going to be linked. Like they're going to look at Kulusevski and they're going to look at Zaniolo, and they're going to be really similar players. So maybe that's why they're not going to capitalize on that. But I think you got to add the guy, young Italian player, probably future national team player or starter. I think you got to add that to the
What
team.
about he isn't young, but what about Milinkovic Savic?
I think if you can get him, I think that's more difficult. I think we've had
More difficult than Pogba?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I think Lazio's a tough team, especially with how close it was this year. Lazio's a tough team to deal with because of what's his name, Lotito,
No Tito.
and I think that's the only reason why he hasn't been in a Juve shirt so far is because of that. I think in general, though, I would like to see Milinkovic out. I think he's a talent. You look at the free kick he took at the end of the game that almost would have been a draw at the end of the Juve Lazio game. If it wasn't for Tech making the big save, that game finishes in a draw. So I think he's an incredible player. I think it's going to be too difficult to get, especially with the COVID financial implications. It's going to be way too difficult to get him. I would like to see it, but I'm more doubting in that. Pogba, there's been a sense. There's been some people talking. Obviously, Bianconeri YYZ or Z, whichever you prefer. But there's been some talk about Adidas helping out. I think it gives there's an advantage when you know a player's contract is ending next year. So at the end of the day, we could pop up and get a free. So I think in terms of Man are completely negligent and stupid, plain and simple. They're going to either try and get the deal done, or their best bet is to move him now, because either you don't sign him and then you lose out on him again, and how embarrassing that would be for them. Because we can go for free, and as soon as January hits, teams can start negotiating. So really, you're not going to sell them in the January, or it's going to be for peanuts. Like, I mean, maybe 20, 30 million you're getting out of that if you try to sell them in the winter. If the team really wants them, like maybe a Real Madrid steps in and says we want them for sure. But right now, I'm thinking 40 to maybe 40 to 60 million, or no, I want to say, what did I put on? I think I said 20 to 40 million cash, maybe plus Ramsey.
For who again?
I think Pogba's really only worth maybe 50 to 70 million total right now. I don't see. I mean, if they want 100 million, I think they're.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't think they're gonna sell them for less than 100 million. They're definitely not selling it for less than 100 million.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's tough. I don't think you're gonna get teams pulling that money out for him, and I think and so if that's the case, then they got to be nothing. So I think it's tough. Let's get into kind of the. I'm obviously going to do this again on the next show, but I want your ratings. What do you rate Tech for the season?
8 out of 10. Last season was 10 out of 10, but this season, he wasn't as efficient because he made some silly mistakes, but still, he was actually one of the important players in our team, one of the best players. So 8. Dybala, I'd give him a 8.5, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree.
Cristiano, maybe 8.5, 9 too. Matuidi, 4. Danilo, -1.
Okay. Let me see. Delict. What about
Delict? Same thing. 8.5. That's what I will give him. Yeah, because his start of the season wasn't very well.
Yeah.
But he's actually improved, So maybe Bonucci, 5, 6. That's what I would give him. Sandro, 5, 6 too. Cuadrado, 5. Cuadrado, 7. No, actually no. Cuadrado, 6.
Yeah.
Bernardeschi, 5. Who else? Rabiot, 6. Because he stepped up, in the end. Ramsey, maybe 7.
Pjanic,
6.5. That's what I would give him.
Okay.
How much do you think he deserves?
Pjanic? I would give Pjanic a 5, to be honest.
I guess.
I mean, at the beginning he was kind of good, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's all Khedira.
Khedira,
0.
0. -5.
Yeah. Minus, if possible. How about Demiral?
Demiral, 7.5, 8. That's what I give him. Who else? Who else is missing? What's his name? Costa.
Bentancur. I'd give Costa 7.5. I'd give Bentancur and Costa 7.5. I mean, it's unfortunate that Douglas got injured. I'd give him a 6.5, kind of average. And what do you give? Sarri?
Sarri, 6.5
on the whole season. I agree.
Yeah,
Above
6.5.
average.
Yeah.
Above average. But yeah, man. We just got a couple questions here before we close her off. Obviously, actually, before we go, the last session, and I forgot to talk about. I mean, really, there's some players in there. I gotta go. Estigarribia. I know Demiral's in there. My Juve player, I gotta go Marcello Estigarribia. I don't know why. I just like that, and I'm not gonna pick Diego because that was a joke. Rincon, I guess, is in about a year or so, unless we get rid of him, which wouldn't shock me. Um, Obviously, for 29, who's 29? You kind of got the horrible pick because really there's between some players that really haven't played, and then you got Juve Machin, Dicelli. So who's your number 29? I'm guessing it's going to be.
I don't understand you. What do you mean by number 29?
So basically, what we do is every podcast we make of showing your favorite player wearing that jersey. Now, unfortunately for you, Mohammed, you got probably one of the worst numbers to go by.
Wait. I'm sorry.
Number 20. Really?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat? Because your voice went up. It's lagging.
Yeah. No worries. So again, like I said, every episode number we pick a favorite kind of player that wore the is episode 29. So you'd have to pick your favorite you over the history, right? So again, there's not much to pick from. You got Stefano Romano 0102, Massimiliano Vieri 2000 2001, Domenico Maeta 2000 2001, Giuseppe Sculli 99 2000, Marco Rigoni 98 99, and Davide Andorno 96 97. And like I said, the Juve product Paolo Di Ceglie. And it's actually funny. I'm gonna pick Paolo Di Ceglie because he's probably one of the Grinta Warriors, the Grinta Club, as I like to call them. But if you look at the game against Real Madrid where we battered them 2-0 at the Bernabeu, De Ceglie actually comes on for Del Piero when he gets a standing ovation. So I gotta pick him.
You need to wait. Give me the options. Give me the options that are available. The players that are available.
Like I said, it's very slim. De Ceglie.
Yeah, I'd pick him.
Paolo De Ceglie. Like I said, you got picked one. Unfortunately, 29 isn't anyone's favorite number. It's not heavily worn.
There's Vieri also, right? Vieri too.
Yeah, not Bobo Vieri. I think it could be a cousin or I gotta look into that one.
No, I'd pick De Ceglie.
I gotta look into that one. What do you think? Let's discuss kind of Tech's love for the team. I know we got some. I think we're gonna kind of have you back again on the podcast, but I think Tech's been pretty good for us. Like I've said in different shows, but yeah, way different for like how he acts on the field, how he kind of commands the players. But I think he's really enjoyed his time. You're looking at the cigarette moment, how he kind of himself at the beginning, also press conferences when I think he's kind of got a quiet, confidence with this team.
I agree.
So, what are your thoughts on Tech?
Nothing but love for him.
Anything that stands out?
Look, anything that Chesney is one of the few players that are playing for passion.
Yeah.
They're not playing for money because most of them, they're getting 400K a week. I'm not gonna mention who. Also, I feel he has Grinta, and he actually mentioned it once when it was in 2018 when Buffon was goalkeeper, and he was actually honored to play in his footsteps. He also said that he wasn't gonna be the next Buffon because he's not Italian, but he'll be, he'll be one of the best players. So I think Chesney, if he stays that role, if he stays in Juventus and he continues down this path, he'll be a guaranteed Juventus legend.
Yeah, I agree. And what about the returning of, thank you, Nilesh, obviously, of La Vita Bianconera, who does who I've partnered up with and has done some amazing edits. Check him out, subscribe, show him some love, retweet. And you're definitely going to see a lot more on my channel as well as his. In terms of returning loan players sticking with the team, I mean, I don't have faith in anyone staying, to be honest. I think Romero's probably going to get moved.
Pellegrini.
I think Pellegrini is a possibility, but I still don't trust the management to keep him. I think either they might sell him or they might. I'd be really surprised, to say the least,
Honestly,
if he
the only
stayed.
the logical reason is to keep them because one of them can play right back. You know, we don't have a right back.
Oh
So
yeah, I agree 100%, Mohammed. I agree. But I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I don't know. Yeah, my friend. Thank you for coming on the podcast. I appreciate it. Definitely gonna have for me because I'm gonna have to head to work here pretty soon. But again, thank you for coming on, man.
thank you for
I
reaching out to
appreciate
me.
it. We'll have
I
you on
feel
in the
very
future. And what?
thank
Yeah,
you, thank
no
you.
worries, no worries. I love hearing new voices. Obviously, again, you're a veteran on Al's pod, so definitely wanted to have you on. And we're gonna have obviously another podcast tonight with for the preview, the full preview, get into the post match with Albert on Sunday, and I'm happy to have him finally on. Again, guys, the usual channels. I'm not gonna stress it out. Obviously, Juventinita DAL. We got Cast, Podbean, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Again, reach out to me if you want anywhere else. I think what we'll do is I may reach out to you a little bit later as well. We'll get your Juventus small to add on. That's for now, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the support, all the love. Please, again, subscribe. Show me some love. It really helps me out on all channels. Yeah, guys, stay tuned. We're going to be finishing this up. Hopefully, there's going to be more than just these next kind of 2 podcasts. Fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Ciao, guys.
Bye
Thanks for
bye.
watching.